It's no secret that there are all types of risks you need to be aware of when you're thinking about tackling a residential property development project. It can be a high-risk game if you don't put the time and effort into mitigating as much risk as possible. In this video, I'm going to share 5 types of risks that are completely in your control. They're practical risks that you can manage from the outset of your development to help minimize the overall risk of your project. Hi guys, Peter Kelly here from Little Fish Property Developments, helping you maximise the value of your land and generate wealth through low-risk residential development projects. On this channel, we share everything you need to deliver successful projects time and time again. So if that's something that you're interested in, then hit the subscribe button and turn the bell notifications on so you don't miss a thing. The first type of risk that you need to be aware of is time overruns. We've all heard the horror stories, and some of you may have even had some bad experiences. Development projects running over time is all too common, and it's the type of risk that can be super costly if you don't have the right risk management mechanisms in place. The key to managing the risk of your project running over time is to get your builder to commit to a significant but fair liquidated damages in the project's build contract. Liquidated damages in construction contracts are the mechanisms through which one party can claim monetary compensation for loss or damage that occurs as a result of the other party's failure to deliver the works, goods, or services under the contract on time. Liquidated damages are a non-negotiable for all our build contracts here at Little Fish, no matter how big or small the project and how well we know the builder. It's critical that you find a builder that is happy to back up their time commitment in the build contract by utilising the liquidated damages clause. For us, we work out how much rent we would lose on each dwelling per week and times that by the number of dwellings. That's the amount we expect all builders to commit to on every project. It's fair and significant enough to give your builder every reason to get the project done timely. Running over time, even with liquidated damages in the contract, is still no fun. But at least the funds you'll receive will absorb some of that financial pressure due to the overrun, and ultimately could be the difference between you getting your project to the end. Next up, cost overruns. Make no mistake, experienced builders, contractors and suppliers can be extremely crafty with cost variations, especially if you're a newbie. Variations have the power to bring you to your knees if you aren't careful. Mitigating the risk of cost overruns comes down to your construction documentation and build contract. First off, you only ever want to enter into a fixed price contract. You also need to eliminate all assumptions from the contract before you enter into it. There should only ever be an assumption or allowance for underground earthworks, but even then, you need to be on top of what they have actually allowed for and ensure that it's reasonable. Builders obviously love assumptions. They litter the entire contract with them if they could, as they don't need to commit to a price. By the time they do, they've already got you on the hook and there is nothing holding them to account. Apart from the fixed price contract, the second thing you need to ensure is that you include detailed fixtures, fittings and finishes schedule in the contract, making sure nothing is left out. If you want something to be included in your build, then it needs to be specified clearly in the contract and the supporting documentation. Never assume something is included. If it's not outlined clearly in your construction documentation, I can assure you it won't have been included and will become a variation. A final tip to minimise cost overruns is to allow a contingency for earthworks when figuring out your build cost. This is good practice and will mean you have accounted for absolutely everything. Once your project is out of the ground, there should be no reason for variations if you've nailed your front-end planning. The third significant type of risk in property development is the builder going bust mid-project, or going bust any time after you've entered into a contract where money has exchanged hands. Remember Murphy's Law, if it can happen, it will happen. So don't allow yourself to think otherwise. Do as much due diligence as you can on your builder before entering into a contract, no matter how they present. At the very least, make sure you get references from previous customers. Paying customers are going to give you honest feedback. Also, head out to site, check out their work and talk to contractors. Do anything you can that will give you the confidence you need to move forward with your builder. The fourth type of property development risk is trusting third parties. As the property developer, it is your job to have extensive knowledge across all aspects of your project. At Little Fish, we trust no one for anything. We always do our own research, we'll talk to relevant professionals and gather as much information as we can, but ultimately, we don't hitch our wagon to third parties ever. We put the time, effort, and resources into our own research because the stakes are too high not to. You either pay now or you pay later. But either way, you will have to pay, so put the time and effort into learning everything you can. Don't rely on one source, find as many sources as you can and challenge anything and everything because paying later is always more expensive. At the end of the day, you need to trust in yourself or your team if you have one and your ability to figure things out on your own. So all decisions you can make them with complete confidence. The fifth type of risk property developers need to be aware of is working with rubbery numbers. One of the fastest ways to lose money as a residential property developer is by working with numbers that have no science or merit behind them. Numbers are a massive part of developing. At the end of the day, we are developing for a profit. So it's beyond critical that you get them right. It's all too easy to throw numbers around without any science or merit to back them up. Don't become a developing statistic. Learn what numbers are important and put the time, effort, and resources into understanding them. Key here is to never round your numbers. Financial projections, budgets, and feasibilities littered with rounded numbers is a perfect example of rubbery numbers, and making high-risk decisions based on these kind of numbers is one-way ticket to a project failure. That's 5 types of risk in property development as promised. But I'm going to throw in a bonus 6 because it's too important to leave out. And that is making sure that you are conscious of your emotions. Emotional decision making is like playing with fire. You will get burned. Make decisions based on facts only, not what you think, feel, or hope. All decisions need to be backed up with solid facts, period. That's it, guys. If you have any questions or topics you're interested in that we haven't tackled yet, let me know in the comments because we're here to help you on your journey as a property developer in any way we can. You know the drill. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure you do if you're enjoying the content because we have a ton more in the pipeline. As always, thanks for watching. I'm Peter Kelly. Happy developing.